Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, we're going to be looking at some training camp news and rumors. We're also going to talk about what went down today at Raiders-Rams joint practice. But remember, today's show sponsored by Hexclad. If you're really trying to elevate your cooking game, go to hexclad.com. 10% off with promo code CHAT. That link's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's show. So very often I get asked, Mitch, what happened today at practice? So essentially what I'm going to do today is just put together my Cliff Notes version of everything that ended up going down at practice today. In terms of the players that did not participate, did not practice on Thursday, here's your names. The top name is the obvious one in Josh Jacobs. Brittain Brown did not participate. Dylan Parham still out since last week's preseason game against the 49ers. Phillip Dorsett. Byron Young. Chandler Jones has been out several days, going on weeks now. Adam Plant Jr. did not practice today, and then Brandon Facyson is continually to be out. If you don't know, Chugs and I, we're going to be live 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday for Raiders-Rams preseason action. We get the tailgate started an hour early. And if you're a diehard Raiders fan that likes to party, I think that I'm going to see you there. Now, in terms of the people who did practice today, some good news. Nate Hobbs was out on the field. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because he missed Wednesday's joint practice, was back out on the field. Tyler Hall, Meek Robertson, they were the players that got a lot of the reps while he was out. But anytime Hobbs misses time, I'm going to pay more attention to it because he is your starting slot corner this upcoming season. Good news, though, he's out on the field. Another player that was at practice today, but I was told, according to a source, that the Raiders are just going to take it slow with him. Is he going to play this preseason game against the Rams? Shrug emoji. It really comes down to Mayer, and it comes down to the Raiders medical team. Do they want him out there? Yes, but they do not want to rush him back. He's battled some minor injuries throughout the offseason. The most important thing is that he's ready for week 1 against the Broncos. Another player that I want to talk about, but I don't have an update on him. Here's the problem with the offseason. The Raiders don't have to put out injury updates. I messaged some of my top sources. I messaged Raiders players. And nobody can give me an injury update on Chandler Jones. Why has he missed so many straight practices? No idea. And I wish I had a better update for you. But the matter is, he's not out there. He's not practicing. He's still going to make the team. But for him to miss the amount of time that he has missed, there's got to be something going on there with Chandler Jones. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we got even more Raiders training camp news and notes that I think y'all are hopefully y'all want to know. But if you don't know, if you're really trying to take your cooking game to the next level, I've recently tried to find something to do in my spare time. I love sports. I love Raiders. But, man, I got to find my other hustle. And recently, I've really tried to start cooking more, not only to help me out, but, Alex likes it on top of that. So, Hexclad.com, promo code CHAT for 10% off your order. Guys, it's time to talk about your kitchen. And no, I'm not talking about the dishes that Chugs probably left in the sink. Today's sponsor, Hexclad, has revolutionized the cookware industry with a hybrid pan that gives you all the convenience and cleanup of non-stick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and a lifetime warranty just in case you find a way to destroy them. Use promo code CHAT at hexclad.com/chat for 10% off. Hexclad truly checks every single box when it comes to picking your cookware. They're metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees. And if you're like Mitch, well, I don't know if I'm going to take your word for it. How about this? Have you heard of this guy? His name's Gordon Ramsay. He's one of the best chefs in the freaking world. And Gordon Ramsay can't stop ranting and raving about these. And if you've seen Ramsay cook recently, I bet you he's cooking in a Hexclad. The sear I can get with these pans is incredible. With absolutely no stick, the temperature control is utter perfection, and the cleanup is effortless. I love using Hexclad at home. And I'm not going to take his words out of context, but I bet you if you don't use a Hexclad, you're probably an idiot sandwich. They're also the sexiest pans on the market. Score points at home. It's time to stop ordering delivery food and start cooking like a big boy with Hexclad. Real cuisine isn't made in a microwave. It's cooked at a Hexclad For a limited time, get 10% off with our special link, hexclad.com/chat. That's 10% off at hexclad.com/chat with code chat. That link's going to be available for all y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. I also just saw Joseph said it's worth every single penny down in the live comments. Why? Because it really truly is worth every single penny. Let's also talk about some more training camp news that went down today. Marcus Epps had himself an interception during 7-on-7s today. And the reason why I always like to bring these up is because Epps to me is a player that he's such a leader on the defense. If he can continually get better and better and better, and I know that Jabril Peppers and Patrick Graham likes to find these type of players that are really good athletes that typically haven't been the best in coverage their NFL careers, but if you can use them all over the football field and you can continually rotate them and put them in situations where they're going to succeed, Graham has shown that, hey, I can really find a player, and Epps is one of the top winners this entire offseason for this Raiders defense. A player that I'm hoping, man, is a big-time winner. It's Tyree Wilson. He was activated from Raiders he started practicing yesterday. Jeremy Chugs, he was able to break all that down for y'all. But out there again working today, has looked very good from what I understand, and he hasn't done so much in the joint practices, but from the ability to just go out there and show his athletic ability. Like, when you're as big as he is, he's big, he's strong, he's fast, and you pair him with a Chandler Jones, you pair him with a Maxx Crosby, sky's the limit for this young man right here. My question, though, is this. How many sacks is Tyree Wilson going to have this upcoming season? When you draft at number 7 and you take him, and it wasn't one of the biggest needs, you pass on a Jalen Carter, the expectations are going to be sky high, especially with the amount of first-round draft busts that the Silver and Black have had. So, let me know, looking at your crystal balls, how many sacks for Wilson. Let's go to another player here that had another solid practice. It's Adam Butler. And on my recent Raiders 53-man roster projection video, Butler didn't make it. And I sit here and I'm like wondering, like, am I going to kick myself in the ass for not putting this young man here? I shouldn't say young man. For not putting this man right here on this roster? I don't have the answer to that. But when you continue to build up and stack up solid practices, it makes me think, did I miss it? What about this guy right here? Nesta Jade Silvera, 7th round pick. And he just continually looks good and good and good, right? Like, every single time, soon as practice gets done, I'll message my guy and I go, hey, give me your good, give me the bad list. And he's just on the good list every time. He's winning one-on-ones and joint practice. He's taking on double teams, giggity. Like, Nesta Jade might not stack up your stat sheet at the end of the season, but he's really going to help, especially in the running game. And he's just proven that he's a really, really strong player. And if you get more coaching, you get Rob Leonard to work with him, I'm telling you, you guys are going to be impressed by this young man. Coming up, my favorite thing from practice today. And there was one thing in particular that happened at Raiders practice today that put a smile on my face. And I'm going to say something that might seem outlandish to some Raider fans out there, but I'm so confident in what I'm about to tell y'all that I don't care how much you judge me. Also, I want to give a shout out to today's Nodi gang, and I put out a video, which we put out a video every single day, put out a video on August 14th, and here were the top 5 people that commented on that video. It's basically almost every video. Junior, Isaac, Raider Sancho, Felix, Jaime Alvarado Sr., let's go Chugs, let's go Mitch. I'm telling you, Jaime, I see him every day. And the people who are a part of that Nodi gang are the people that take pride in turning on those notifications, subscribing, and really making sure that they're one of the top people that comment on vids. Because believe it or not, when I push out that video on YouTube, I do. I see the names that are always in there first. And I remember them, and I can see them, and it just goes a long way. If you want to help out the channel in a free way, join the Nodi gang. Now, the thing that was my favorite part from Raiders practice today is this. So if you look at a lot of the highlights, you go on Twitter, you can go on IG, you can look at a lot of the stuff, and Maxx Crosby in the background is watching every single rep from Tyree Wilson. He's sitting there, he's watching it. Then the defensive ends get a break from the one-on-one drill. So what does Maxx Crosby do? He says, hey, Tyree, come over here real quick. And instead of taking that water break, instead of taking maybe that 5 to 10 minutes that they got off, what did they do? Crosby says, Tyree, step over to the side of me. and Crosby starts working with Tyree Wilson. Not only is it great for Crosby to say, hey, Wilson, come over here, let's work on a few things. For Tyree to say, yes, let me learn, that is levels to that type of shit, right? Like, you want to go from being a bad defense to taking that next step, you need a guy like Maxx Crosby. So what I'm about to say, it might rub some Raider fans the wrong way, but the way that Maxx Crosby, when he's done with his career, the way people are going to talk about Maxx Crosby, they're going to talk about him the same way that they do a guy like Charles Woodson. They're going to talk about Crosby as some of the all-time greats. When Crosby decides to hang up the cleats, the shoulder pads, puts the helmet down, I am confident in saying that he is going to be a Raider for life. He's going to be a Raider for life. And if he's not, that's going to fall on the organization, because I've talked to Maxx. He wants to be a Raider for life. He's wanted to be a Raider for life the moment that he was drafted back in 2019. But for Maxx to do that type of shit, that's the type of player that you need. That's the type of guy that's going to take you to that next level. So I said it back in 2019. Crosby, anytime you want to jump on the show, man, you're more than welcome. Seeing that type of shit, it motivates me, and it makes me even more excited for what's to come with Crosby, with Tyree Wilson, and with this Raiders defense. So with that being said, another dominant defensive line day for the Raiders. I mean, they whooped the Rams offensive line in and out. Now, the center for Los Angeles, he did step up. He had a pretty solid day. But overall, this Raiders defensive line has continued to get better and better and better. And what it reminds me of is when the Raiders had one of the worst offensive lines of football. They hire Carmen Brasillo, and he works with that unit. Gets better and better. The Raiders hired Rob Leonard, one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL. It's getting better and better and better. I saw the preseason. I've seen joint practice now with the Niners, joint practice with the Rams. It's all been good from the defensive line. If that continues to grow, I'm telling you, we might actually have ourselves a top 20 defense. So my question is this: how many sacks will the Raiders have this upcoming season? One of the worst sack units probably in the last 5 years. I believe they actually are ranked dead last when you had all the sacks together over the past 5 seasons, which is scary because we've had Maxx Crosby. So how many sacks will this Raiders team have this upcoming season? Please let me know down in the comments.